Hi, I would like to talk about today Delta Dollars Part 2. In the last video on Delta Dollars Part 1, we talked about how we can use Delta Dollars to calculate a hedge ratio on a non-diversified, highly correlated portfolio. So if you owned a bunch of stocks, let's say within the S&P 500, you could figure out your hedge ratio. You could figure out how to dial in your beta by using a hedge ratio based on a protective put. But what if the assets in your portfolio are highly diversified? They're non-correlated. A non-correlated, highly diversified portfolio, which is what most investors have. Now I want to introduce Oswald. Oswald, say hi. This is Oswald. Oswald is my options expert, and he's a little preoccupied with his bone, but he speaks options, and he's going to tell us how to use Delta Dollars in a highly diversified portfolio. Let's go through a simple example to illustrate. Let's assume we have 5 calls on the S&P 500 at the money using SPY. We have 15 calls on HYG bond fund at the money. We have 200 shares of emerging markets, EEM ETF, 200 shares of the NASDAQ QQQs, and we have 400 shares of the 20-year Treasury bond ETF TLT. Now we want to calculate your portfolio beta. We want to know how many 1-year 20 delta puts it'll take to bring us down to a 0.75. One thing we must understand about when we're dealing with Delta Dollars is that you just can't add up Delta Dollars of assets that have different correlations. You can't say, oh, what's the Delta Dollars of TLT, the 20-year bond, and what's the Delta Dollars of SPY, add them together and then calculate our hedge ratio. The problem with using diversified assets is you've got to adjust your Delta Dollar position based on your beta. The first thing we're going to do is look at a regression of SPY to these various assets over the last year, HYG, EEM, QQQ, and TLT, to calculate what the beta has been over the last 12 months. Then what you're looking to do is you're looking to multiply your deltas times your share price times your beta of whatever asset is your benchmark. We're going to multiply the beta of each position times the Delta Dollar in price to give us an adjusted Delta Dollar position based on the cross asset weighting of our beta position, which is going to give us a total portfolio Delta Dollar based on the cross assets of that position. Once we calculated our Delta Dollar of each position based on our beta, we then simply add up all the Delta Dollars of each position. It's simple arithmetic. And then what you'll do is you'll have an adjusted Delta Dollar position. Isn't that right, Oswald? Yes, he's basically telling me that I've got it just about right. Once we can do that, then we can come down with the Delta Dollar position. Now let's assume our portfolio value is $150,000 total portfolio value. And now we know our total Delta Dollar position is $202.55. We're just going to divide the 150 into the 200.225 to come up with the beta, which is 1.34. We want to reduce the portfolio risk to 0.75. And we want to use SPY 20 delta puts, represent about 8,000 deltas negative per put. So we solve for X, which is 112,500 Delta Dollars. When we subtract the 112,500 Delta Dollars from the current Delta Dollar position, we've got to lose 87,755 Delta Dollars. Now we know one long put equals negative 8,000 Delta Dollars. So when we divide 8,000 into 87,755, we know that we need 11 puts to get us down to a 75 beta. So let's add those 11 puts to our portfolio and see what our Delta Dollar position ends up being. 112,255 Delta Dollars, which puts us right about a 75 beta. We could actually dial in her hedge ratio using adjusted Delta Dollar position, which is what we were looking for. When you know your portfolio exposure, you could dial in your hedge ratio and you could manage and control the risk management at all times within your portfolio framework. And that's really the goal. Our portfolio went from 34% more volatile than the market to 25% less volatile than the market by just adding 11 long, 1 year, 20 delta puts to the portfolio. But as I said in Delta Dollars Part 1, the magic of optionality is that it's curved, which means if the market comes down, our risk goes down. If the market should move higher, our beta moves higher, which means we participate more in the upside and less in the downside. That asymmetry is unique to optionality. And as long as you can understand how to carry the cost of holding options, it is truly the best tool for hedging and managing risk. What do you think, Oz? Does that sound good?